It's another video from Ozzy's Robot. Brought to you by the Banana Collection.
Hey there, welcome back everybody. Guess who it is? It's your favorite toy guy here with a heretofore never seen, at least to me. Well, I shouldn't say that. I probably had seen it and forgotten about it. But, you know, another toy that if you were privy to my live stream, you would have seen me unpack it, much to the surprise of a lot of people that never knew this toy existed. So, welcome as always. Get comfortable, park your keisters in a nice cozy chair, grab a steaming cup of coffee, and snack, and now focus and pay attention so we can get right into the James Bond 007 swimmer toy. Now, I'm guessing this had to be licensed because, I mean, for God's sake, it says James Bond right on the box, right there. And it uses the logo, too. So, swimmer toys come in two flavors. They come, like Craxton made a swimmer toy that was actually rubber. I have one somewhere. Fairly complete. But, like you get with the crawling hand and other rubberized toys from the 1960s, the rubber completely decomposes. And that was also a problem with masks, props. A lot of rubberized things seem to decompose, and therefore it's tough to find one working. And even if you find it complete, like the crawling hand, for example, that I had, you can't run them because even if the motor works, they are so hard and brittle, they will just crack all over the place. Now, having said that, they also made tin swimmer toys like you have here, and Tada made a bunch of them. I mean, there's basically swimmers of a lot of different characters, including probably the most famous would be Astro Boy, Wolf Boy Ken, I believe there's a Tetsujin, and on and on and on. So there's a lot of swimmer toys. I'm sure this body was recycled. But let me tell you something. I'm not aware of too many toys in general that have a face that looks very close to Sean Connery. And man, to me, that looks like Sean Connery's face. Back in the day before they had 3D scanning technology, right? So, I mean, somebody had to model that toy. So I think they were much more creative back in the day. Now, this box is really cool. Now, even before I get into the box, well, we'll look at it. So what movie did this originate from? Well, it's Thunderball. And Thunderball, I mean, I have a vague recollection. If I'm not mistaken, Thunderball was where the evil organization known as Spectre absconded with a couple of warheads, and they were trying to hold it over maybe NATO or like the world government's head for like £100 million ransom. And of course, James Bond had to thwart the plan as always. And I think the villain's lair was in the Bahamas. That's why he faced sharks among other villains. But you can see here, there's some of these villains over yonder. You know, they kind of like vaguely hinted at there because they're further out in the distance. But this is a nice interpretation. And like I said, it says James Bond right on the box, man. They were pulling no punches to like make this a nice licensed toy, not some derivative knockoff. And I like it, man. There's not too many underwater scenes like this in character toys especially. And if you see here on the side, it tells you it's Thunderball. Why it's crooked, I have no idea. I think the typesetter, if you know what that is, back in the day when they had typesetters, probably was just drunk. It's like, or maybe it's just the water was like making it motion in the ocean or something like that. Then you have your kanji, and of course your Tada logo here. But I think there's actually another manufacturer. I love their logo with Astro Boy on it, though, or Tetsuan, or the Mighty Atom, however you want to call them. But then this is really cool. I like character stickers, but man, which character stickers have this friggin' like semi-auto? It looks like a Luger. So that's pretty cool. Now, let's see if I can focus here. Does it say like, let's pick this up. Does it say like in that corner, A-O-K-I, a koi toy or something like that? So I think that's probably like the real manufacturer. And by that I mean, maybe Tada was more like the distributor. And of course you have it here on the side. And that's your cool, impressive box. As for the toy, I mean, it is not shy in showing you its logo, man. It's like right here on the chest, like a tattoo. And in fact, today they'd probably be a tattoo like that. And in fact, if you're gonna have a lot of tattoos, get some cool Japanese logos as your tattoo. That would be very impressive. Here's, like I was telling you, the molded face. It's kind of vinyl, so it's not gonna deteriorate. So, Scorpio, you're going to get me. Scorpio's from The Simpsons, if I'm not mistaken. Or was there also a Scorpio villain? Here he is in his Speedo. Man, it really looks like Astro Boy, even the color of the body. Now, these fins, sometimes they have the propellers for these swimmer toys, and this one has actually rubber fins, which you can see they're droopy now. They haven't cracked. They're still actually pliable, but you would not want to mess with these. These are not like really that strong. And then the oxygen tanks have the 007 emblazoned. And he doesn't swim empty-handed. Even though he can't fire underwater, he does have his nice buck knife for protection. I'm going to assume it's a buck knife. He's even got a belt on there. And then, I like the way they, these were painted cottage industry, some people working, and they painted the top of the scuba mask. So it's really cool. Now, how does it work? It's a wind-up. And in this case, unlike the ones that would, like, have the propeller in the back, let's say to propel them forward, right? That's why it's a propeller. It propels. This one has more like the arm motion. So let's see how I can do this on camera, because it's kind of hard without hitting the arms. I can hold the arm and then let go. And it doesn't take a lot of winding to get that much motion. I'll do it one more time, and maybe I'll position it a little further back. And this spring for a few winds. Okay, so imagine like a kid throwing this in his bathtub? I could, and that's probably why these things are rare as heck. Anyway, that is a look at your 007 James Bond from Thunderball during the underwater scene where he was making his way to the Bahamas to defeat Spectre and the villains. So, if you like James Bond, and as a matter of fact, I've actually added 3 other James Bond toys. One is a attaché with all kinds of weaponry in there, and that's going to be forthcoming. But then I have both versions of the cars, which I will show at some point. The remote control Aston Martin, and then I have the regular, the more common battery version. I think the remote control is a little cooler. So as far as James Bond toys go from Japan, from the, I think this is 65. There wasn't a whole lot, and having those, well, at least those 3 tins, that's probably the bulk of them. And then the attaché case, I think that's Japanese also. I'll check when it comes in, and I'll be more than happy to show you. But that concludes this episode of Ozzy's Robots and another spectacular toy, in this case, James Bond 007. Do me a favor, if you like the video, please thumb it up, share it in other social media platforms, and if you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. With all that, I always appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me. And if you have any remarks, also leave them in the comment section. With that, thanks again, my friends, and I will talk to you later.